Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Gibson Show. And today we are joined by Wolves BiBoo. BiBoo, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good, and you?
I'm doing good, thanks. It's good to see you repping the set. You know, you've got your Wolves gear, your Wolves scarf in the background. You're repping the brand.
Yeah, we love the brand. We love the org. They help us a lot.
Hmm.
They take us in a bad situation we were like
Hmm.
with no orgs and stuff. So it's really good to represent Wolves. We are really happy too, and I mean uh, we have a good road for now, a good journey, I guess,
Yeah.
for this year. So it's good.
Yeah, actually, before we even kick in and maybe talk about your career, you got picked up by Wolves. They're one of the top Premier League teams. You've got massive players playing for them. And they're one of really two big football teams that are currently in siege. You know, PSG play in Japan and Wolves are playing now in EUL. What's it like playing for an org that is involved in, real sports as well? And are there any perks? Like, have you guys ever got to go to a game or, what are the perks of it?
Yeah, I think what it's impressive is like because we visit all the training staff, but the football one.
Hmm.
So it was really cool to visit like I never did like one on other clubs. So it was good to see the inside of the club. It's like like it's impressive because like football is so huge compared
Hmm.
to every sport, but even more compared to esports.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's cool. And yeah, we got the chance to watch a game. It was a good game, but we lost. But it was a
Yeah.
good game to watch and funny one to see. So yeah, it's something new, I will say.
Yeah.
But it's really cool.
Yeah, and one of the things I noticed in Jönköping was all of you guys, if not, or a couple of you guys, if not all, were repping Adama Traore jerseys. Was that something that you bought yourself, or is that something the club gave you?
The what?
The Traore jerseys?
Uh oh yeah, we got like we had got some merch
Yeah.
from the org, and we can have the sometimes we have the choice, sometimes it's like the merch for everyone. So
Mhm.
some people took some training jerseys of the football
Mhm.
club, some are just taking normal t-shirts. So it
Yeah.
depends of the taste of everyone, I guess.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it's definitely good to see Wolves involved with esports, and I think they've made the right decision picking up you guys as a roster as well, because you look over the last couple of years in EUL, and to me, you guys have been the most consistent team. At the EUL level, you're always performing. You very rarely have a bad stage. And I think when you look at that, you kind of wonder, why has that not led to more international success? You guys have been phenomenal in groups, but for some reason, when it gets to the knockout stages, you've never really got it going. But the good thing is, there's a massive tournament coming up in just a couple of weeks, and it's your chance to put that, change that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we had got like 2 good years, I guess.
Hmm.
We had like with Rise back in the days with the roster with Rise, Fabian, Goga, Angry.
Hmm.
Well, a couple hard year, but after we made the switch, like Vitality uh, was like giving us all the opportunity to build a new French roster
Hmm.
with P4, Cactus, and Shinga. I think we did great. Not the best year, but it was a great year compared to last year's before.
Hmm.
And after we made the switch with Mowgli instead of Cactus, and things where everything started like with a really good performance in TUL, being on the top four consistently. Like I think we made a top three, two top one, so like it's really good year in UL, and all like of course Wolves pick up us
Hmm.
after the first touch. And yeah, I don't know, maybe it's like for the international performances, like I think it's good. I mean, we made 3 majors,
Hmm.
2 quarterfinals, not like like disappoint disappointed like a bit because every player and
Hmm.
every competitor wants to go far away, like going finals to win the title. But on the paper, it's still like a good year. We have qualified for 16 national too. Um, what maybe what we are missing, maybe it's like more training in best of three,
Mhm.
like all the year we are playing a lot of best of one. I was like talking with some people, and I was saying like before every stage, before playing one best of three, you need to play, I think, 15 best of one.
Mhm.
So it's a lot. So our goal was to first be good in best of one,
Mhm.
trying to be the best team like this, and I think we kind of did it. Like we in Europe, at least
Mhm.
we really doing great in best of one, and we were good. And I think maybe sometimes like it was kind of new to
Mhm.
go in quarterfinals, for some players. But also like there's a lot of people watching us. Always like we were kind of the favorite of Europe sometimes,
Mhm.
and people were expecting us to perform. So maybe a bit of pressure, I don't know. But I think we just need to have, I think like the little things that will switch everything, and after it will just to be good with the team. But I'm very confident about the six international and how the team will perform at, in Montreal. So
Yeah. Well, I think the big thing about the Invitational is, regardless of how the year went, you would trade that all in a heartbeat to win the Invitational. I think every player feels the same
yeah.
way. I know when I watch you guys play, I always get the feeling that you are one of the best teams in the world. There's no question about it. I think everybody who watches you guys play feels the same way. We want to see Wolves really smash it at the international level. We've had Koi win a major this year. We've had BDS finally break their duck and win a major, and I think a lot of people wouldn't be surprised if Wolves go on to win the whole thing in Montreal as well. So hopefully you go and do that. But
I hope.
yeah, while we've talked a lot about Wolves, I want to talk a little bit about you personally, because you've had a very good career in Siege so far. You're still
Thank
pretty
you.
young. You're still pretty young. You've won two stages of EUL. You've been on the team for a couple of years. And not only that, you've got a 1.2 lifetime KD at the highest level. In tier 1, you've been smashing the best players in the world for a long time now. How do you manage to stay on top for so long? Because you know better than most. A lot of people in Siege have short careers at the top level, but you've managed to have a couple of years now, and you've shown no signs of slowing down.
Um, I guess I met the good people at the good timings too. Uh, First, I think like it's like a job.
Mhm.
Now it's a job to play like this in competitive. But first it was a it's still a passion. But first it was a passion. We were playing it like with friends to
Mhm.
just enjoy the game, just to try to be the best. I think I still have that, still got that. Like every time I'm going into practice, every time I'm going in lands in matches, like I have like this energy. It's something like drive me to
Mhm.
be the best and trying to give my best for my team, for me, for people who support us, for everyone.
Mhm.
And also, like I said, like I think I met the good, like the right people at the right timings, because like back in the days with Vitality, I was like kind of reaching my top, I guess,
Mhm.
my prime, if I could say that. But I had still some issue in like emotional, like trying to manage my emotions and in the game, trying to not be frustrated, trying to go a bit teammate, to
Mhm.
be honest, every time in any situations. And with that, like we work a lot with Lilun, my
Mhm.
our actual coach, like and she helped me a lot on that. Vitality back in the days were giving us like the opportunity to talk with performance coaches and mental coach,
Mhm.
who were really involved in it. Like so it was really interesting to talk with them, and it helped me a lot. And after like I don't know, maybe a good there is a part of chance too,
Mhm.
to doing your having the opportunities too, because I had like in my career I had a break with
Mhm.
Vitality at sometimes before we backed we got relegated in Challenger League.
Mhm.
And for me, I think it was like the time I was not I mean I will have like hard time to find a new home. But at the end, like Vitality gave me a second chance to rebuild
Mhm.
a new roster around me and trying to go back on top. And I mean, we did it, so it was cool.
Mhm.
And yeah, and after like I think we make the sometimes bad choices, but at the end we with this roster now we made good choices, good bets too, because it's like when we built this roster, the French one, uh, P4 and Shinka was kinda young in
Mhm.
the scene. It was like their second year, because they had 1 year in UL with Tempra, and for Cactus it was his first year in T1 competition.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was like a bet, but we think we built something really interesting and really healthy, and like have with a good level with Rise and Laurie and Liloon. LB was still was year two at this
Mhm.
time. It was already with us with the year before, and the addition of Robin Robs in manager. I
Mhm.
think everything we made like this at this time was a good choice, and I think it's helped me to stay there at the top level and try to push me even more on the top with a good level of game.
Yeah, so what you're saying is kind of the sum of the whole parts. It's the work that you're putting in, and then the work that's been put around by the people around you as well
Yeah.
to kind of enable you to do that. And I think as a player, it's a good time to be in Siege because it seems like players are playing a little bit longer than maybe they were a couple of years ago. You know, you've got people like Crine winning majors. You've got people over in APAC that are in their 30s still playing. Like I think the way people are starting to treat esports and treat themselves as esports athletes, it's really giving players the opportunity to play even longer and extend those careers out. So here's where I want to talk about yourself, and one of the biggest things is constantly trying to improve and changing your game over time as well. Over the last couple of years and over this year, how have you felt that you've improved, and what are kind of things that you've identified as things you've changed in your game over the last while?
Um. I kinda changed my vision of the game.
Hmm.
Back before I was leading game. I was Nigel with Supremacy with the start of Vitality, and I had like if we can say like kind of a similar games vision of the game and game style as Russian teams, like
Hmm.
very strict. We need to do that step one, step two. Okay, this person need to be there at this timing, stuff like that. And with the game evolving and growing up too, the meta just changing every time too.
Hmm.
I needed to improve on that, like to also open like my vision, like
Hmm.
not be tunnel vision on one thing, on one game style. Um, and so with my coach Laurie, with Rise joining in the team, P4 too with the Tempera style was really like notable. Like every even international team like didn't play against Tempera, but was like, okay, this strat because they are going fast, they are then impacting on the game,
Hmm.
just going, yeah, for not like constructive things, but they are going like with the ambition, like the conviction that it
Hmm.
will work and going fast with some just few infos. It's helping me a lot, being surrounded by other style or other game style, also vision of the game, helping you to improve. And it's also something like you need to want to change about you. It's like
Hmm.
everyone around you can just help you to go faster, to helping you to open your mind, I will say. But if you on your side don't want to change in your, like I would say, deep art, like the your conviction want you don't want to change, you will not
Hmm.
change. You'll not change, or you will not switch, you will not improve. It's something you need to come to you. It's like it was the same for my emotional like I would say issue during the game with frustrations too. If you don't
Hmm.
want you first to change, you will not change. Everyone around you can give 100%, like 1000%. If you don't want to change, you will not change. So
Hmm.
I think it's something you need to have like in competition, even on even more on top level. Just every time think about, okay, what can I improve? I can improve or be open mind when people are, with some look like a look from outside, because you are still every time you are in the game, you are focused on I'm playing like cursor
Mm-hmm.
placements, calls, decisions, and sometimes with coaches or even some manager or other players can just with a step back and say, okay, you should try this, or we can talk about that, and just exchange too. It's really important in a team, between the players, between coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a whole process that you need to accept. You need to want to be part of it, and yeah, to like accept too sometimes that you are playing. I'm not playing bad, but you are wrong, and you need to change about something. Your vision, you how you can adapt on this type of things. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like this, like it's all again. It's like I think for me it's like all things, but I think it's need to come to you. It need to
Mm-hmm.
become like from came from you. If it's not from you, for the first step is not
Mm-hmm.
from you, you will not be able to improve and go far away.
Yeah.
Like
I think what I love about it is how humble you are. Like every time I try to talk about you and how good you are, you keep bringing it back to the team and how having the right support network works. And I think that's a really good attitude. It's okay me telling you that you're one. I think you're one of the best in the world. You obviously will think that yourself, but obviously you keep pointing out that it's not just you. It's everybody behind the scenes. It's your coach. It's your team. And I think one of the things you spoke about there was listening. A lot of people, they hear what people say, but they don't actually listen. They don't take it and actually put it into effect and use it to make themselves a better player. So I want to step away now from, you and Wolves, and I want to talk about France as a whole, because
yeah,
right now, France, if you're just looking at country alone, is probably the best, if not one of the top two, three regions in the world. You've got maybe 15 plus players who could all play at a tier one level, and the talent line is still coming. You've got Deadshot, who's probably going to get a chance at some point, but Mowgli came through to you guys at the start of last year. You've had EFAC has come through to BDS and had an instant impact as well. Why do you think France is so good at developing talent in Siege right now? Because to me, as in, you could go into a Siege World Cup and it'd be impossible to pick France's best five players.
yeah. I think for like to say about that, like it would be hard, I think, to have like I mean, would not be hard to have a good team. It would
Mm-hmm.
be hard to pick five players and be okay. I'm letting these players on the side
Yeah.
because there is so much talented player, like you said, and good players. But to come back on France, I think like we had the chance at the beginning of the game that we had like a strong support from people who were in Ubisoft France,
Mm-hmm.
trying to create as much as even they can, trying to make, trying to giving life to the community, trying to give all they can to have something really responsive and something like, yeah, I will not say it, but like really growing up and something like with living like people trying to communicate, trying to, you have an event on the right, you have an event on the left,
Mm-hmm.
players like even meetings, be players, everything about around that, like, and we had like it was Ubisoft friends, it was also casters,
Mm-hmm.
players, everyone like was like really friendly, and I think we still have that, like, even if you still have the competitor side of everything. So when you are in the game and sometimes there is some kind of banter or trash talk a bit, but it's like, I mean, it's part of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, like, I think it's a whole community was really like, there are a lot of people are friends in there,
Mm-hmm.
and there is like it's a unit, and I think it's helped a lot. And after that, we kept our players on the top level every time. So we had like on PC, the first time on PC and Xbox, we had French play on Pro League.
Mm-hmm.
After when we I mean the competition switched to only PC, we still have players on top. We had team always going up on Pro League. I think one time we have four French team,
Mm-hmm.
or at least three, I guess, but maybe four in the Pro League on eight. Like when like the half of the league was French. Like it was just insane. And after that, we have the French league, where players like like where teams like Vitality, like Giants, after BDS just played in this league. So it was helping French like young players, talents to growing up, to just like be better, because they were okay. We are playing against better teams. They were giving all, because the French league, or even like the small events like Gamer Assembly, French Cup,
Mm-hmm.
everything around that was like tr- built to make sub top players playing against top players in EUL, French ones. It's helping to grow up for the young ones. It's helping us to, still have jobs, to make for our top players to have like participate to the community, to helping the building the yeah the French talents, to have like new players to help us to come, sometimes take our place. It will be
Mm-hmm.
like this, but sometimes maybe one day we take my place, young players take my place too, I guess. And it's all about that. And I think yeah, we everyone in the French community, we are a lot of people, I think in French community are involved in it and trying to give their best. Even content creator, it's not easy to be content creator now on Siege,
Mm-hmm.
with all the issues we know in ranked and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But we still have some who are trying to give their best. I have some friends like, I know it's hard to streaming, but sometimes I see them on Rainbow Six Siege, and it's hard, but they are always coming back and trying to make events, to create some tournaments, trying some things on Twitch, some broadcast, or like you interviews
Mm-hmm.
too. Like we have a lot of in people involved in Rainbow Six
Mm-hmm.
for French people. So it's really helping us, think, to have everything, like, and have at least at the end players who are interested to be top player, to be in the competition, and after to be the best. So
Yeah. I think, as I said, you guys are lucky to have Mowgli on your team. And as I said, you're speaking about the young players coming through, him and EFAC, and as
yeah.
as EFAC keeps saying, Deadshot coming through as well. Those three have the tools to be three of the best players in the world. I think Mowgli in particularly had a massive spark to you guys' style of play. He joined in, and it looked like everyone kind of got a little bit freer, having a little bit more fun. A lot of clutches. One thing I've noticed about Wolves is you guys love a good, 2v4, 1v3 clutch when it comes to
Yeah.
these tournaments. So I want to talk BDS then in particular, because you guys have this. Obviously, you all get on off the server, but in EUL and at these events, you've got a massive rivalry now with BDS because they are such a big team as well, just like you guys. They play in France, all the players are French. What is it like having another team from your region as good as you guys, and how much does that help each other, push the two teams on? Like, how much do you help each other become better?
um to be often, like, it's like just playing against them every time. Like, it's like helping us to get better, to understand maybe another part of the game, because we don't play the same Siege.
Mm-hmm.
We are playing the same meta, right? But we don't have the same vision of the game. We are
Mm-hmm.
not playing the. I will not. It's obvious that we are not playing the same game style, but it's helping a lot to playing against them. It's always good to have, like you said, a little rivalry, uh, especially with French people and friends. Like, I have like at least two old teammates in it. I played with LMs. I played
Mm-hmm.
with Pride for long years. I know that Rice played with play French Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Before I also played with Rafael before they took Likefak. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Mowgli is a good friend with Likefak. It's always a special game, and yeah, it's like so always cool to play them. It's like I think we every time we play them, it was great games.
Hmm.
Sometimes we won, sometimes they won it. So no, I think it's really cool, and yeah, it's like seeing people like it's easier to identify you with people who are like similar to you,
Hmm.
and in French, I mean, in esport with French people. I mean, same nationality. I think it's easier to Brazilian players to identify them to with top team players
Hmm.
in Brazil for Liquid and IP with FaZe who are on top from years. And same for us. Like I think when we were on top, the BGS player were in Challenger League or back in the we before they even were PDS,
Hmm.
they were okay. We want to be the best French team too because like they were on top, so they managed to build something. They won the Challenger League, came back on top. It's every like it's a it's I think I would say healthy rivalry.
Hmm.
You want to be the best from your region in even more when it's specific to one country. It's like bitter ego. Like we are
Hmm.
all players. We all want to be the best. So you need to have a bit of ego,
Hmm.
but it's not like it's not like a big deal. It's not like we hate each other. It's like most like we want to be the best, and
Hmm.
every time one team is on the top, the other one I mean, she knows that the other one will push to just I don't say close the gap and become the better team. So
Hmm.
but stuff like this, that's it's working, I guess.
Yeah, no, I definitely love the rivalry you two have, and it is that whole case of driving each other on, and you see it in every single sport in the world. Having two teams from the same area push each other on can only be better for the region. So
Yeah,
I want to talk a little bit about the SI closed quals now. So you guys have already qualified for the invitational. You're going to be watching with eyes to see who's going to make it through. Looking at the European teams, you've got Navi, Secret, the X Empire roster, and now Makers. And a lot of those players have played at SI before. X Empire, they could have won it in the past. They've,
yeah,
they've come very close. You've got Navi who've been to Six Invitational. Some of the players are new and they have not been there, but the core have. Secret have a coach who's been to these massive events before. And then Makers, the CL side, they have qualified for
uh,
SI before as well. Looking at those games at the end of the month, who do you think is best placed to qualify based on the what you've seen from playing against them, on the players they have? Which of those sides do you think is most likely to make SI?
if I want to be safe, I will say Outsiders.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they are the run-up. I mean, they were second. Like they are this world champions, I
Hmm.
guess. Like if we can say that. They lost against TSM last year.
Hmm.
So I mean, they still have the experience. They are still really good players. They they just made a switch. Like I mean, they have the four core roster and they have
Hmm.
Pasha instead of Scyther. I think it's like Scooter. So I mean, it's not changing a lot. Pasha is a really really good player too.
Hmm.
So I will not be surprised if they are going there. But I think Navi can can do something. Like Navi have a really interesting game style. They are always going out of the classic meta, I would say, with
Hmm.
their strategy, with how they are playing the game. So it can be surprising sometimes. And on event like this, close qualifiers always can be tricky to play against a team like this.
Hmm.
They are really good to analyze too. I think they are doing a good preparation for their games. So I think it's helping them a lot, and it could be good for a best of three. MKers, they made it before. They could have make it. I think they didn't have a great year
Hmm.
this time, but they are coming back stronger in the open qualifiers. I think they were just smashing everyone on the road. And at the end, I would say Secret are not the favorites, right?
Hmm.
They maybe have the less chances,
Hmm.
but to be honest, I think they still can be it. Like I mean, if they are there, they, they deserve it. They can be on six. They have good players like Astro, who is a good friend of
Hmm.
mine. So it will be really, I will be happy to have Astro going in 6 because I think he's really deserving the T1 spot for a long time. And now he can have the opportunity to go to 6 Invitational, the best event on Siege.
Mhm.
So I would be happy for him. But I think I will say Outsiders because I don't want to. I mean, it's like easiest choice,
Mhm.
but if I would say that a team was not the favorites and not outsiders, maybe Navi. I think a final against Navi against outsider would be good. I think,
Mhm.
but I mean, we are always saying like okay, this team is favorite or this one will have more chance. But on this type of qualifiers, will never know. It's people we can just step up playing the game of their life because like this kind of events, this kind of games are so much important,
Mhm.
so much, so much. It means so much to players to just go to the sixth national that everyone can just, I don't know, blow their mind
Mhm.
and go go some crazy and be the best player for the best player in the world like for 2, 3, 4 games in a
Yeah.
row, and so just putting impressive games. So I would say outsiders, but Navi
Yeah.
can be a contenders, and I think a finals will be Navi against outsiders.
That's a game I think I'd really like to see, and I do think Navi made a couple of good changes too over the last year.
Yeah,
I think Jegs is going to be he has the chance to be an absolute superstar at tier 1 as well.
yeah,
So, right, one or two more things I want to touch on because I know this interview's ran on a little bit, but they're
yep.
fun. They're fun things I want to talk about. So, one of the things I like asking players is when you're playing in games and you're playing against all these teams all the time. First off, who's the one player that you think you have in your back pocket? Like, who's that player you feel like you kill more than anybody else when you're playing competitive play?
Well, I don't know. It's just, I mean, there is so much players,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to choose one. Um, I don't. Like I'm just to figure out which team we played, and it's more most of the time it's when you are playing teams like you are used to
Mm-hmm.
beat, like um, but I don't know, like maybe the maybe the maybe some ex-TT9 players,
Mm-hmm.
um, maybe I don't know. And it's so hard
Yeah.
to choose someone like it's something like bad too, like to say that you are my little boy and I am killing you every time. It's not like it's not hard, it's not easy. I'm not like this, but s- I don't, to be honest, I don't even remember which team we really like a team that's like in my mind just came back and say, okay, with these guys we were just
Mm-hmm.
crushing them every time, and I felt like an easy game. Uh, because like I don't know. To be honest, it's hard because like we had some games against M&M we were like going fast, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, I didn't feel like really that. Okay, I mean, this game was easy. Like I mean, this guy was picking me and I was just killing him every time. It was still a hard fights,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, maybe some TT9 players or M&M. Like I don't know which one, but because to be honest, I don't even look which player I'm killing like
Mm-hmm.
in the games. I'm
Yeah.
just clicking the heads and say dead top solar, dead top blue, and
Yeah.
that's all.
Okay. And then the other side of it is who is the one player that you hate getting into gunfights with? That one player that, you know, not that you're scared of, because I don't think any pro player is scared of anybody, but one player that you just feel is very difficult to get into a gunfight with.
um, I mean, there's a lot. I think there is a lot of players like I mean like Spoits,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Shaco. I mean, all these star players, even like Dan
Yeah.
from Empire. I mean, ex Empire Outsiders. This guy is just crazy. When he's on beast mode, this guy is
Yeah.
just you just can't. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the word. I
Yeah.
can't.
Okay.
Down. He's just picking you. So I would say Dan. Like this guy when he's on beast mode, you can't stop. You really can't stop him.
Yeah. There we So we'll go with Dan for that. So final question for the interview really is one that I'm asking every single player. If, and this is one we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, if they
Yeah.
were to bring back like a Siege Euros or a Siege World Cup, and you had to pick Team France with you being on the team, and
Okay.
you're only allowed to pick one of your own teammates, who would you
Okay.
pick as your five French players?
Okay. I would pick for my team. I would pick P4
Mm-hmm.
because this guy is. I mean, P4 is so much. I mean, he's so much good on everything, on
Mm-hmm.
gunfights, taking kills, taking opportunities, trying to to find opportunities and solutions in defense, in attack.
Mm-hmm.
He's like very good on siege. I think it's one of the best today.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go for that. I know he's capable of IGLs in two or shot calling, so
Mm-hmm.
it will be a good. I mean, it's always good to have player like this. Um, I would pick Bride.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bride is one of my whole love, like
Yeah.
my first love. I would say like this guy is so much good. Like always be consistent on games, doing an incredible shadow game. And
Mm-hmm.
shadow. Um, you know, I don't say the bit walk in the shadow. Like
Yeah.
it's support roles, like Shinka too in my team. But Bride is like yeah, like I said, all teammates. I think it's maybe the definition of the ideal, like
Mm-hmm.
the perfect teammate you can have. Like always nice, always willing to do that, so always willing to play this operator. But he never played, but we'll play it
Mm-hmm.
because we need it. So I think I would pick Bride, and after I w- I would, to be honest, I think I would pick Liquefact too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I mean, for now he's like one of the young talents that is just growing up really fast, and I think he proved today that he deserves this place in top of top teams and T1s.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like I know he's like he can IGL or short calling, so it would be a good addition to P4 to have these players like you know two maybe not the same vision of the game, but
Mm-hmm.
having like can switch between them, like okay, this time you take more the lead, or I think they will be complementary,
Mm-hmm.
on a game. And at the end, I mean, it's hard to pick someone else than someone in BDS, because I
Uh-huh.
mean we are the top players. So if you want to be just objective, you need to have like a. I mean, you need to take the best for France.
Mm-hmm.
The best are in BDS and Wolves, I guess, for now. And I don't really know the other players in subtop. I mean, I know them, but I don't think they are better than BDS players. So, and for I think in this team for now we will lack of entry, and I will say I will go for Sheko because I mean
Yeah. So
Sheko just so.
yeah.
Oh,
So
I will not say anything else. So
you P4, Liquifac, Bride, and Shaiko would be your five.
I think I would go for that.
Yeah.
I mean, because I can't take my own
Yeah.
players, so I need to
Yeah.
I need to. But and at the end I think when we were I think when they were announced when they announced the World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
we had some rumors that we could have only two players per in France you could
Yeah.
have only two players by team. So I would say that, like, you need two Wolves, two BDS, and you need one more.
Yeah.
And I saw the interview of Likefak talking about of dead shots.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a good. I think it could be a good pick instead of Sheko too.
Mm-hmm.
If the rules were in place.
Yeah.
But for I think the roster I said before is just if you can take these players, I think it's better.
Yeah, it's cool because when I asked Liquifac the same question, the one BDS player he said he had to have was Bride as well. So both of you were like, yeah, we need to get Bride on that side. So I think that says a lot about him as a person and him as a player when both of you put him on the team. So we're just coming to the end of the interview now, and it's been an absolute pleasure. I gotta say that, you're so humble. I do think you're an incredibly good player as well, and I can't wait to see what you do at SI.
Thank you.
Anything you want to say to the fans before we finish up?
Just thank you for everything. Like always, thank you for the support, for the messages, for the love. Yeah, we are really happy to have like fans like you guys. It's really cool to see you. I hope you will be there at Six International. And I hope you will be there in on stage to put some great games on stage. And yeah, that's all. Thank you to Gibson for the interview. It was a real pleasure to do it also. So thank you.
Yeah. No, honestly, thanks a lot, guys. If you haven't already, please give BiBoo and Wolves a follow on their socials and show the love. And whenever you do make your way to SI, if they're on the main stage, I want to hear howls coming out from the crowd, guys. So look, it's been an absolute pleasure, BiBoo. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks to everybody
Thank
for
you.
watching, and we'll see you all next time.